Not a disability, but a ability.
Hi, mamas and daddies. Welcome to my podcast. Yes, finally. Welcome to Not a Disability but Ability podcast, where we're here to educate, bring awareness to everything, anything disability. Today, I'm joined by my special guest. She will introduce herself. Please let us know who you are, where you're from, how old are you, the family dynamics, and how many kids you have who are actually on the spectrum.
Okay, hi people. My name is Alungile Ngesi. I'm from Klextop, but originally from Eastern Cape. I'm a mother of 2 boys with autism. My firstborn is 12 and my secondborn is 8. I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you for honoring the invite.
Thanks.
So you said you have 2 sons,
Yes.
a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old,
Yes.
and both of them have autism.
Yes.
So take us through the pregnancy journey of both of them. Were there maybe complications with the pregnancy?
I would not say there was really, because with my firstborn, the only problem that I only had high blood, which it was controlled. And with my secondborn, it was the same, high blood. And funny enough, I was like, when you have high blood, obviously you're gonna go for high care, clinic-wise, not even once a week, twice a week, so that they can monitor your high blood. And I believe that I did all my best with my pregnancy, but then lucky enough, or bad enough, I got 2 autistic boys. And with my firstborn, I found it out when he was doing grade 1.
Okay.
It was in a normal school, and they asked me that he's acting weird, which I was not even aware of. That is not normal. And with all the problems that he was giving in a class, they told me that I should go and see a psychologist or doctors. And then that's when I discovered that he was autistic. And with my secondborn, he was very sick. He was sick at the age of 4 days after birth. Couldn't breathe for almost a year on naps, like naps now and then, in and out in hospital. And then after a year, I discovered that he can't speak. I was so worried. They told me, no, mommy, the child will speak. Don't worry about that. Till now, he's 8 and he's not speaking.
So with the firstborn,
Yes.
as you said that you were alerted by the school,
Yes.
did you see any traits maybe that maybe his behavior, or notice any delays with him before the school made you aware and after the school made you aware?
To be honest, I haven't seen anything. Remember with him, for me, he was acting normal, as a normal baby. Because he was in a normal crèche, normal school. That's when he started grade 1, that's when the teacher made me aware that I must just monitor his behavior. Because then that's when I started noticing that, yeah, he's biting himself. He's up and down now and then. You know, most with us, we all think that no, boys must be naughty at the end of the day. Then we were not aware until that year when he was 7. That's when we noticed that he is really autistic.
So when did you officially get the diagnosis? At what age did you get the diagnosis for the first and the second?
Okay, the first, the doctors thought that no, because he didn't want to ride in grade 1, he was 7. That's when we discovered that he was diagnosed same day. The same day we went, they asked him questions at the hospital. He couldn't answer them properly. He was not giving them an eye contact that he was supposed to give them. Then immediately he was on pills. He was taking now Retinol, which it's calming him down most cases. And with the second born, actually we were not sure that he's autistic. Remember, he was sick from the age of 4.
Yeah.
So now he was sick from 4 days.
4 days, yes.
4 days. And then at the age of 1 year, 11 months, he had to go take out his tonsils. They discovered that he can't swallow because his tonsils are in flames.
Okay.
So he was admitted in Barra. And then after that operation, 1 year, 11 months or 2 years, I started noticing that he's not saying a word, like nothing. Then I was worried. I took him back to the hospital. The doctors would take you up and down. No, mommy, don't worry. It's just a delay because he was not well from birth. So now he will speak when he's 5. Remember, I stayed with my boy, having hope that he will speak from 2 years till 5. After 5, they told me, no, he can't speak, mommy, and he's autistic. Like, it's for life now. You must accept the situation. I felt betrayed by the hospital for giving me hope that he would speak. Well, else, till now, he's not.
I can just imagine. So with the first one, was he verbal?
Yeah, he was.
He was
With the
verbal.
first one, actually, he was acting as a normal child. Because even now, it's not all the time where he would bite himself, showing funny things. Only when he's frustrated. But if he's not frustrated, he's normal. And funny enough, my firstborn is amazing baby from God. We just found out last year he went to a church and he returned himself to a church.
Wow.
Old Apostolic Church. Because they sing a lot, they practice a lot, and it's nearby our house. One day the pastors came in, told me that your child is going to be baptized next week. You don't know how I cried. I was like, no, you can't do this to me. How did you think that? He said, no, I love the church. And that church is not like our church. There they give us space to be on the stage, to sing, and I'm enjoying singing. You won't believe, my child don't know time, but he understands the time to go to church. He knows time, how the practices, everything. Then that's the only thing that makes him so special.
So would you say that, what would you say was your biggest obstacle when raising 2 autistic kids? Obviously, we know that autism is a spectrum, and obviously they are not the same. So I can imagine having 2 of them in the house.
Yeah.
So how would you say, what is your actually biggest obstacle when it comes to raising 2 boy kids who are on a spectrum?
To be honest, it's not easy. Sometimes I just break. I'll make an example. My firstborn took time to get a special school. I repeated grade 1 for 3 years, not getting a school. And believe in me, it broke my heart. I went to the principal that 3rd year when he was repeating grade 1. I told him, you know what? It's going to be a difficult thing for my boy to understand that he's going to be in the same class again. He told me, no, mommy, I'll talk to the kids not to tease. I told him, do you know that my kid is autistic? And when he's angry, he's going to beat your kids. And I'm not going to be accountable for that. Believe in me. Down the line that year, he beated a girl to be in hospital.
Wow.
guess what? The parents didn't accept that their kids was wrong. They wanted to sue me. I must pay the medical bills, pay the petrols, everything. I was like, no, I can't. I told the principal that my child is autistic. And once kids tease him, he's going to react in a very funny way that no one can stop him. So, to be honest, it's not easy. Sometimes I'll be sitting there, they'll be fighting. The other one doesn't understand the other one. I'll have to stop the fights. Have to make sure the older one understands that the younger one won't respond. And I think the older one doesn't understand that he can't speak. He believes that he's just making an excuse. Because he would say, sitting there, seeing his little brother, he'll be speaking to him as if like he's understanding. Nathan, I told you that you must go change. Nathan, this and that. And when he's not responding, he'll be like, Mommy, your child is not responding to anything that I'm saying now. And I'm like, boy, he can't speak.
And I'm sure that pierces your heart.
And yeah, even society-wise, people will break my heart almost every day.
So the child repeating grade 1 for the third time, was it because of we couldn't find school for the child? That was the only school that could accommodate him? Or was it because of his delays?
No, it was because of believe in me, with special schools, there is a long list. A very long list. And I would like to inform people that if you have an autistic child, as soon as your child is diagnosed, go get your child at school, because you'll be on the waiting list for more than 4 years or 5 years.
That is so true.
And it's not easy. I would tell you about my second born. He's now 8. Because of my first experience with the first one, I went and got him at school at the age of 3. And then when he was 3, because I'm working and he's staying with the granny, and the granny is not, like, our parents don't know what is autistic. They would think that sometimes my mother would feel that, oh, I'm feeling pity for my kids.
Yeah.
It's like I'm punishing them. I must not beat him. I must not tell him not to do that. He was on an nappy till the age of 6. And when they called me when he was 5, unfortunately, he was still on a nappy. Then they took him back on the list, down. And now he's still not in school. And he's 8. I tried to call last week. Still waiting.
Still on the waiting list.
Still on the waiting list. And now, because of engaging with people that have autistic kids, I have a friend of mine. Her child is 23. He stopped was in the foundation phase. When they are 18, they must go to a center, sort of like a center where they're gonna be taught how to build things, or they're gonna work with hands.
With hands, okay.
Yes. Then I told myself, you know what, Lerato, thanks for showing me this center, because now next year I'm gonna go register for the older one. He's turning 12, so that he's gonna be first on the waiting list when he's 18. So my advice to all parents with kids with autism, go get a school at a very early age. Because even though they evaluate the child at the age of 3, they won't take the child, but he's still gonna be on the waiting list for more than 3 years or 4 years. That's how special schools full. They are very full. So yeah.
And I can tell by you expressing yourself that this actually breaks your heart.
Yeah.
The experiences that you need to go to as raising a child who's autistic, and I completely understand where you're coming from. So with the child now, the older child, is he attending any school currently?
Yeah, he is attending a school. which is I usually ask sometimes, how is he coping? Remember, with my child, he doesn't want to ride.
The older one.
The older one. He becomes so frustrated when you give him a pen and a paper. But he's coping. There's things that he can do, like counting, and whatever he was doing at school, he would tell me, but not write it.
Okay.
So now, I think at school they have a trick how he's doing things because he's been moving. They don't have grades, they have levels. He's been from level 1, level 2 to... Yeah, I think he's coping in the special school more than in the mainstream, because in the special school, he has a pity for other kids.
Okay.
He understands that he's normal, more normal than others.
Okay.
He's getting certificates at school for her best helpful kids in the whole school.
That is nice.
Yeah,
So meaning he has empathy,
a lot.
which is another stigma that actually autistic kids don't have empathy.
Yeah.
So this actually proves that they actually
They
do have
they
empathy.
do. Believe in me, when the second born was young, he would even wake up at night and hear him crying. Mommy, Nathan is crying. Please do something about that. Like he has really.
No,
I
that is
believe
nice.
that God blessed me with him.
With
Like,
such a
loving
soft-hearted child.
Yeah.
Never mind the autism, but he's actually a soft-hearted child.
Yes, and believe in me, he is, because he would prefer not to play with young or same age as him because they won't understand him. He prefers to go with older kids, older sisters. Believe in me, he's autistic, but he behaves like gay-ish. He doesn't want boys near him.
Okay. So would you say, how long do you think it took you to actually get placement for him for the special school? Because I remember you said he had to repeat like 3 times,
Yeah.
grade 1. So how long would you say it actually took you? How many years did he miss when it came to school placement?
5 years. Full 5 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's how full it is. And I believe that our government is failing us with our kids a lot. Because now, with my second born, when I apply at other schools for him, special schools, they reject him because he's nonverbal. And the one that's accepting him, he's on a very long list.
So a special school rejects the child
Yes.
for having actually
Nonverbal.
for being nonverbal. Wow. So meaning there's actually less schools that can accommodate our autistic kids, because most of our autistic kids are nonverbal.
Yeah.
So that is a struggle that we're actually facing as autism mom.
And believe in me, with the teachers, the therapies at the schools, some have the heart that they would understand it's not easy for this mom. With my experience with my second born, really it's been very hard, because the therapy didn't understand that it's not easy for us to train him. It's the first time we get a child like this.
Yes.
And I'm working, I'm hardly at home. My mother is there and my mother won't understand. My mother would feel that we are abusing the child if we're gonna punish him for doing something on his pants. So the lady was blaming me as if I don't care for the child. You are very ignorant, mommy. Yeah, that's what she told me.
Like her exact words.
Yes. Now you are tired to stay with the child at home. You want him at school.
Wow.
That's what I get.
And this is a therapist,
Yes.
a qualified therapist.
Qualified therapist.
Someone who went to school to actually handle this kind of situations.
And I asked her, my last word was, I wish you understood that I had 2 autistic kids, not 1. And I'm dealing with a very big deal here. 2, not 1. And sometimes I'll be so frustrated that I can't even deal with them myself.
That's true.
Sometimes I would feel today I'm not going to train anyone anything. I'm exhausted. I just need to be in my room and cry, then sleep.
Because you can imagine just being a parent. Just being a parent is difficult.
Yeah.
Now having to raise a special needs child, and not 1, but 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine the load that you're going through.
Yeah.
So do you have any support whatsoever?
I do have a support. My family, my mother, my father, my siblings, they do support me a lot, and I really appreciate, especially my parents, because most cases my kids are with my parents. And my brothers sometimes don't understand my older child. They'll be like, he's making an excuse that he's sick, he's not. Sometimes they'll be screaming on him, and I'll be like begging, guys, be calm. Like, he doesn't understand some things. He just needs us to guide him so that he could understand that this is wrong, this is right.
Yeah.
No, your child is old enough to understand. And sometimes the frustration, I'll be like, I wish one day God can give you an autistic child so that you can understand that how I feel.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't want to give him a hiding, but it's not in most cases whereby we have to give them a hiding.
True.
Sometimes you just need to tell the child that, boy, this is not good. Just sit there, please. Behave for just 2 minutes. I just need 2 minutes.
Whereby 2 minutes for them is like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because they actually don't understand time or relate time the way we do.
Exactly. And it will be a fuss with my siblings, especially with my second born. He likes watching church pastors, and it would bore everyone because he would be hiding remotes, and they'll be like, no, your child is naughty now. People, it's his comfort. He can't speak to us. Just at least let's train him so that 2 hours he's watching something that he enjoys. Then the next 2 hours we just ask him, can we just please watch some soapy or something, so that he could understand that we must just routine. It's just a routine that we have to build for him. But in most cases with us, our community, or they don't understand. They would break your heart. They will break your heart. Believe in me. Some people, when I'm just going with my 8-year-old boy, he likes holding a 2-liter bottle. And it frustrates some people because he would drop it now and then. And when I'm in churches, people won't understand. They will, Mammy, can you just calm your child down? I'm like, people, he's happy, for heaven's sake, and he's expressing his happiness in this way. Please understand. And some people will be very angry that you're not teaching your child. He's just doing whatever he wants.
So you become like a parent who doesn't have discipline.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, I that one I know.
Yeah.
Because wherever I go, people will think that she just makes an excuse. She doesn't want to train the kids how to behave.
So what would you say having a child or kids who have autism has taught you personally about yourself and all those kind of things? Because I can say for myself personally, having a child also who is autistic, it has actually taught me patience that I didn't think I have. It has also taught me how to really know a person. When I'm saying I'm getting to know a person, like to really, not just the surface, to the point where now, because of my son is also nonverbal, so he uses body language and gestures a lot to communicate. Now I can simply tell by someone's body language what they actually mean, other than what they say with their mouth, with their words. So he has taught me that to the point where I can even pinpoint just walking down the street another autistic child that this one might be autistic because of the behavior and all those kind of things. So personally, in your own capacity, what would you say has taught you about yourself?
It taught me to love one another. It taught me to have care for someone else. It taught me to understand other people's situations in most cases, because I'll be diagnosing kids, and that's the very bad part about me. When I'm in malls, clinics, I'll be diagnosing your child.
Yeah, I really think now we are qualified
And I'll be like pinching myself, hey lady, you are not qualified for that. But because of my kids, they taught me that I should be wide open about health-wise, how to treat other persons with disability. Because I remember when I was telling my boyfriend that, I never felt the pain that a wheelchair person sitting there, how is he feeling? But now, since ever I have 2 autistic kids, I feel pity for them. I can imagine how they are going through. Sometimes people won't help them. Sometimes he would be needing something and he can't reach it. And it taught me to love people a lot. And it taught me to be in a position whereby in any situation I must be just calm. In most cases, people would say things or do things to me that's hurting me. But because of the condition of my kids, I'll be calm and I'll decide to cry than to be rude. Yeah.
Okay. So also, as you mentioned that you have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was it easy or was it difficult for them to get integrated into your space, especially with the kids that we have? So, sometimes it's not everyone who is gonna accept a person with a child, let alone 2 kids with disability.
Yeah.
So was it difficult, would you say, for him to integrate into your family dynamic, or what?
With him, I don't want to lie, he's a very good person. He taught me a lot, which is I was not even aware. He taught me, the first time we met, I told him I have 2 kids with autistic, and in most cases I can't be with you. I must be with my kids. So that I help my mother when I'm off. When I'm knocking off at work, I must go check my kids. And he told me that it's fine, just get yourself a routine, how you're gonna deal with your kids. And with me, the way I love my kids, I don't want them to be hurt. I prefer not telling them that we are dating.
Okay.
He's introduced in my kid's life as my friend.
Okay.
And believe in me, my older child is a bit jealous about him, but he understands that it's just a jealousy. But the second born, he loves him a lot. They understood each other a lot, and he's very patient with my kids. There's days whereby I would be crying and telling him that I'm not feeling well. Today this one did that. I think I'm a very difficult person to date with, but he's dealing with my problems, Shem. I'm really grateful to have him in my life.
Because I think maybe even the first one, maybe he's just being overprotective. It's the dynamic of we are 3, we used to being 3, and now there is this regular person now who's coming in that I need to adjust to.
Yeah, I think the older one, because he's used to being with his dad. Then now the father didn't accept the kids, so he stopped taking them. So now I think he feels that I know my father, I don't need you. Well, else I would just tell him, no, he's just my friend. He's just here to visit me. He's gonna go, relax. But one thing that's funny about Lutando, he would, when it's raining, he'll be saying, call your friend to come fetch us, please. He's using my boyfriend. I'm like, but when he must sleep over,
it's a
you'll
problem.
Be like, no, where is your friend gonna be sleeping today? Because I'm afraid to sleep in our room. I'm like, but when you're in need, you say I must call my friend.
Yeah.
But
wow.
all in all, I'm really grateful to have him, because he'll be like, relax, my boy, I'm not gonna sleep here, I'm going. I'm not gonna stay. But they get along very good, Shem. Like, I'm really, really grateful to have him in my life.
So you touched on the therapist.
Yes.
So what kind of therapist are your kids attending?
To be honest, with me, they were attending at the government hospitals. And then I discovered that it's not helping me with anything.
Okay.
Because today it will be a Tswana lady, tomorrow Indian lady, that day is Zulu guy. And I even asked the CEO of the hospital, can't we get someone like one person that
Who
our
is
kids gonna be like consistent on our kids? Because now I feel like it's not helping. Remember at home we are speaking Xhosa. When we come here at hospital, it's English. Sometimes there are ladies Tswana. He's gonna be like trying to teach them in Tswana some things, and I'm like, no, it's not helping me with anything. I'll just rather train them myself and Google some things and just do.
Because I can imagine if there's always changing people, that means there is no way forward. You're always repeating the same thing over and over, because everyone wants to start at the beginning.
Yes.
So this one comes, it's the beginning.
Yes.
And then the other one comes, you're still going to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over.
The whole month.
The whole month doing the same thing with no progress.
Not at all.
Nothing.
And to a point whereby my kids will be very irritated. They'll be like, no, Nathan will be crying or doing his own things. Like, I'm not gonna listen to anyone, and I'm not used to this person, and next week I'm gonna get another person. So I might as well not behave.
And whereby routine and consistency is very much important when dealing with a child who's autistic.
Yeah.
So also, would you say the reason why you went public was because of maybe private was expensive?
Yeah, we can't afford a private. We can't. I'm even struggling with the older one. For example, my kids don't have fancy toys. I'll have to create for them things. How to teach them things. They're not exposed to a lot, unlike other kids that would be exposed to puzzles, expensive puzzles, number puzzles. With them, I'll have to download things on my phone and teach them with my phone. So yeah.
I also think that is one thing that I think we have in common, because rather than buying, I also prefer creating.
Yeah.
And when I create, I get them actually involved in it.
Yes.
So it actually creates the excitement and stuff. So, because chances are they're gonna break it or they're gonna throw it away.
Exactly.
So other than going and buying, because already their life, raising an autistic child is expensive. So already their lives, their basic needs are expensive. So when it comes to toys, I'm sorry guys, I take a box, I cut markers, I create something, we paste, we do whatever. Because I'm not about to buy a whole set of toys that is expensive.
And remember with me, in most cases my kids are with my parents. So my parents, they are treating them as normal as possible. I've never heard my father saying that your kids are not normal. He would treat them as normal as possible. My older boy is 12. They usually ask him to do tea. That's how normal they are at my family.
Which I think it's actually a good thing.
It is because
it's a good thing.
They learn a lot.
Yeah.
They are not treated special.
Special, yeah.
Believe in me, with my family, no one is treating my kids special.
Because I also think that it's a good thing because remember, as we said, that consistency for them and routine is important. So if they gravitate to be taught or treated special, that is what they'll grow up to know.
Yeah.
That is all that is going to be. And we are raising kids at the end of the day who need to go out in society, who need to fend for themselves. So if we are going to treat them like their condition, then we're actually not going to raise the kids.
Yeah, and I feel that when the community don't understand, they'll be like blaming me with my second born that your child is always on street during the day, he's up and down. They make me feel like I'm a bad mom.
Oh.
And I can't be locking gates for him where else he feels like going to play, because even though he's not speaking, but he'll be following other kids wherever they go. So now with the community, they feel like, this is a bad mom.
Yeah.
The child is not at school, firstly. Secondly, now he's up and down the whole day. And he would be bathed at night. Obviously, he's autistic. He doesn't understand that I'm dirty now.
Yeah.
And I'm doing myself dirty when I'm playing on the floor, or when I'm taking sand and pouring it on myself. It will be like, this mom is very bad. She doesn't even bath the kid. Always she's dirty, always.
But that's how they learn. They are kids at the end of the day.
And my mother will be very pissed. He'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah, they need to
bath
go
my
out.
kids
They
at
need to
night.
go play.
If they feel like going to play, they are not in jail. That's my mother's words. My kids are not in jail.
That's true.
Whether they are normal or not, if they want to go play, they must go play.
So I think maybe the society is getting too comfortable with raising kids on tablets and on phones, whereby they actually forgot how actually child's supposed to go out and play.
Yes.
Because if you were not raising a child who is consistently on a TV, that will be actually normal. That a child will see sand and want to throw sand on their face, on their hair. I mean, that's how we grew up on the streets and all of that.
And with him, I understand that he was in the house from the age of 1 till 5. Remember, he was very weak.
Yeah.
After the operation, he couldn't eat normal food. So he was a baby that would just sit in the house. Now he can walk. He's exposed to the world. He feels like this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
From the day one, I've noticed kids playing, but I couldn't because of his condition.
And kids don't actually need to know how to speak to be able to play. That's why you can find kids playing there. One is speaking this language, this one is speaking the other language, but they will actually play together. So kids don't actually need words for them to understand each other so that they can play.
With the non-verbal and with our black society, if I can put it in that way, it's very hard. It's very, very hard because even a normal preschool, they can't take him. I remember other year, I paid school fees for 1 month, actually for a week, because the following week they repaid me and told me, no, we can't deal with your child. Other kids are laughing at him because he's on a nappy and he's tall, he's very tall, but he's not communicating with them. So the owner of the preschool felt that it's pain for him to take that child.
Yeah.
And I asked him, can't you just speak to the kids that he can't speak? They must be like not teasing him. He said, no, mommy, take your child and your money.
But that's not solving the problem.
And I was like, how are they going to learn that there's kids that are autistic?
You understand? That's what I'm saying. That's not solving a problem, actually, because if you're going to remove a child because the child maybe is being bullied, for lack of better words, rather deal with the bully so that the bully stops the bullying.
And with our black society, believe in me, they don't understand. My child has been in a crèche whereby he was not even taught anything. And the therapy is blaming me now that your child doesn't even know colors. I'm like, okay, I was so busy that I'm paying the preschool thinking that at least they're teaching him.
Yeah.
And I would make all the day I would call the school principal and ask her, how is he doing? Are you treating him as normal as possible? She'll be like, yes, I am. Yes, that day after the therapy, I called her and I cried. I told her, you've wasted 4 years of my child because it's like he was at home.
Yeah.
For this whole 4 years. And I was not aware that you are not doing anything and you've been lying to me. I'm not saying be Nathan's mom at school. Just train him basic things. The only thing that you did, it was just looking after him.
That's it.
The whole day. Yes, she believed that Nathan is very brilliant because he can hear instructions and he can follow instructions very well. But that's not teaching him. I know that he's very good with things. I would ask him, go fetch me things, go fetch this. He understands everything in the house, but he can't write. He can't even show me simple things, colors.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting from scratch. Well, else I was paying a preschool for my child.
And for the whole 4 years?
Yes.
So didn't you receive NDR reports and all those kind of things?
Not at all with him. And the therapy thought I'm lying when I told her that I've never received anything. Because I believe that they had this belief, no, he's just here to wait for a special school.
Oh,
where else?
Okay.
I never said that to them.
Okay. So they were like, we're not going to invest in
Anything.
the child because, we are Ndrula, he's just passing.
Exactly.
So I think, yeah.
And now there's a friend of mine that she's starting a center for autistic kids, and I told her that it will be really nice and I would like to be in that team because I would like to teach other people that an autistic child just needs you to teach him basic things. Don't just sit with your child at home, feel sorry for the child, that, shame, my child is autistic, he can't go to the society. Well, else they can.
They can.
They really can. And they really can deal with people. It's just that people don't understand them. But they understand people. Believe in me, when you are a bad person, my second born can feel you. He would be like, don't touch me, don't come near me, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, human detectors.
A lot. So yeah. And then that's it. But I believe that one day the government will help us with our kids.
Yeah, that is. We also believe so, but let's hope so.
Yeah.
Because I think that the reason why there is a whole lot of waiting list is because there's less schools.
Yes.
And now, especially now with the increasement of the diagnosis, because I'm sure they have stats.
Yeah.
They can see that there is a rise in diagnosis because I believe that we are not like our mothers, our grandmothers, where we are shy to take our kids for evaluations or we sit on it and be like, you know what, we'll see, we will outgrow it or he will do whatever. We are parents now who actually take charge of our kids' lives.
Yes.
We take them for diagnosis, we take them for sessions and stuff. So I think now with the rise in the diagnosis, they should be now paying attention that actually there is a huge rise, especially in autism, because autism is not like any other disability also because of it's a neurodevelopment disorder. So they pick up and they adapt to certain things. An autistic child doesn't just go to any special school because it's a special school.
Yeah.
They don't just go to any mainstream because it's a mainstream.
Yeah.
So you need to cater for them, for their special needs. So I think that is why we have lesser and lesser schools, is because of that. And I think also our black communities, they've set on the information that whenever they had a child that is displaying the symptoms of autism, they'll be like, no, slow, or they'll be like, udam, he's a dumb child. And because of he's a dumb child, it's a black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
So he'll be set back.
Yeah.
So I think that is the issue that our community has. Last time I was speaking to this other lady, is one of the mothers that I appreciate, community mothers that I appreciate. I asked her a question that, are you aware that it's only us black people who say our kids are slow? There is no other race that
Not
says
at
their
all.
kids are slow. It's only us. So that is where the huge gaps also comes from, because you
It's
just
true.
take your child and you say the child is slow. Then the child is not slow. It's just that the pace maybe that you expect from the child is not there.
It's not there.
Last, I was also explaining on one of my lives with TikTok. There's a gentleman in the Eastern Cape who's raising an autistic daughter. So Megashuguti at the school, they were complaining, Uti, she's slow and all those kind of things. Then I said, your child is not slow. The thing is, with autism brains,
Yeah.
they generally absorb 42% more information than our normal brains.
Yes.
So it's like having a cell phone with loads and loads of apps. So obviously it's going to be slow.
Obviously.
Phones have an option to delete or to upgrade. Their brains, they don't have that option. So that's why we see them as slow, and they're actually not
They're
slow.
not.
It's the information capacity that they've observed. They've observed a lot more than us. So I think if we start educating our black community about what exactly autism is, so that they can understand that because of the child has autism, he's not autism. Because I think that's the issue that we're having. Because of your child has a certain disability, then the child is that disability.
You don't even
Nothing
want to
more.
engage in anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I would even wanna advise the fathers out there to support the woman.
Yeah.
With my experience with the father of my kids, he believed that it's culture thing that my kids are lacking. And he's so stubborn to a point whereby I can't even teach him that your kids are autistic. It's a gift that God gave you. And I have this full belief that God knew that I'll have the strength, the courage, the love, the care to raise them. So now if you reject them, you're giving me a very hard time, because I believe they need you as a father. But he decided that he doesn't want anything. His family, they don't have disabled people. And there's something that me and my mother, we did. How? I don't know.
Why would you do something to your own kids?
Believe in me, that guy believes that I did something with my mother. The condition of my kids. Why is my sister's child normal? Why is my third child normal? Well, else his kids are not. Yeah. He doesn't. I even told him that the way you're so stubborn, even my father can stay with your kids. You can't even manage 2 minutes with your own kids. And I can't force you.
Yeah.
I can't. But to fathers out there with autistic kids, they really, really need to understand that it's just a neurological problem. The kids are normal. The kids can cope. They only need love and care. And to all Black people that want to be teachers at a special school, it must not be only about money. It must be about love and care. It's one thing that I was raising at our church when I had an awareness that as youth, it was on June 16, on a youth day, if you want to be a teacher, please be a teacher because of you love what you're going to do, not because of money. Because some of our kids need care, love, understanding, and they have this spiritual gift. When you're not giving them love, they won't understand you.
Yeah.
They won't even listen to you. They
That's
would
true.
feel the vibe that this person is just doing this just to please himself or please herself. But at the end of the day, I'm not feeling the love.
Yeah.
And if our Black society would understand that for me to be in a special school and teach, I must not kill this child, but build this child.
Yeah.
The child must not be afraid to go to school because this teacher is going to shout me if I'm not doing this thing right. And now, because we lack information, most of us Black people, they don't take it as a career to teach special kids.
Yeah.
There would be, it's only most cases why, it's because they understand. I remember when I was looking for a school for my child, I met this therapy at a normal school. She told me that your child is a genius. He can't write. I say yes, and I'm so worried. How is he gonna cope in this world? She told me that, my child is an engineer and he had the same problem.
Wow.
And believe in me, when I taught him how to write, he's writing upside down. So you must always turn the book so that you can understand what he's writing. I told her, but with me, he doesn't want to write. He becomes so frustrated, angry. She told me that no, his brain is telling him a lot. So that's why he can't concentrate in writing. Get him something that he would understand. And believe in me, I'm really calm with him. He's coping now. He is. So with us, our Black society, they really need to know that if you are dealing with an autistic child, love them. Not to a point that you are spoiling them to be rotten.
Yeah.
Just love them so that they can understand that there's people that are understanding my condition. That's it.
So since we know that sensory issues are part of autism traits, so what would you say compared to the two kids? What would you say their sensory issues? What sensory issues do they have?
Okay, with Nathan, he's very sensitive when it comes to crowd.
Okay.
When the only crowd that he tolerates is in church. And I think they have the same symptoms when it comes to sensitive, because even the older one, and when we have parties, they cry. I don't celebrate the birthdays because they don't want the noise that will be going on. But funny enough, they tolerate the noise in church. So that's one thing that I know that they can't.
So they are sensitive to sound.
Yes.
And the crowd.
Yeah.
Also.
Yes.
And then when they have meltdowns, we know we have meltdowns. How would you treat or handle a meltdown?
Okay, for me, with the older one, he would want to beat people, and I would ask him to calm down, and he would be like crying. And remember, in my family, they treat them as normal as possible. So once he comes in and is pissed by someone at the street, my brothers or my sisters would get him. They would tell him, go fight for yourself. And I don't have actually a trick with that one because they treat them as normal as possible. But with the nonverbal, whenever he's down, I just turn the TV to be in one pastor's. Then he starts being happy again.
So your kids are actually church orientated.
Yeah, only. Only. And
Because the one signed himself up for a church, the other one only watches pastors.
only. If you turn something, he's not gonna watch you.
Wow,
Like
great.
pastors only. Yeah.
So would you say now, being a believer that you are, when you started, I'm going to place it on the first one because I believe this is actually where your journey started. So when you got that your child has autism, how long did it take you and how did you process it? Those words saying your child has a condition and that condition is called autism.
Sure. Believe in me, I was so in denial. I was so in denial to a point whereby 2013 I started to have this belief that God doesn't give you something that you can't handle. So I cramped my brain. I told my heart that my firstborn is autistic. At first I had this thing, maybe it is, he needs something cultural wise, maybe he will be fine. But then I started making my own research, checking things, checking people, example, following you in TikTok. Then I was like, there is kids that are autistic, so I might as well accept so that it could be easy for me to deal with my kids' problems. Yeah, and I believe that church is a way that would comfort me because in most cases I'll be in church and they would open a script whereby it touched me with my whole situation with my kids, and I'll be going with this high faced up face that I can do this. I really can do this. With God by my side, nothing is impossible.
So since church is your safe space, how were your kids received at church?
Believe in me, some people didn't understand because even today when they're at church, there's some people that would laugh at my firstborn because he'd be singing in a funny way, loud, wanting to touch everything. And until I taught them that I'm not comfortable when you're laughing at my child, I believe that whenever you're going to laugh at him, he's not going to want to come to church. Just understand that that's how he is and that's how he's expressing his happiness. So please accept the situation the way it is. And since, I'm still on an awareness, some people haven't got lessons that how to deal with them at church. Some, they still don't believe that they are autistic and they would want to treat them as normal as possible, where else sometimes they would be fighting for instruments, small things, and it would be an issue. And when I'm asking, can you just give him, please, for peace sake, because we are in the church now, so that he can concentrate and be focused. It would be like, no, you're not treating you are not a good mommy. Your child is behaving in a way, you're not treating him how, teaching him how to behave.
Discipline your child.
I'm lacking discipline. That's it. Because our black society is failing us.
So have you visited the other church where your child actually went and signed himself up, where they were willing to actually come and baptize your child? Did you go visit and see?
That one, sorry. They call my child a gold.
Wow.
That's how they love him. They love him in a point whereby every person would be asking me that, why are you not coming to church to see how your child is behaving? He's a godsend. They accepted my child with all his problems to a point whereby wherever they go with him. Even if I say I don't have money to pay, they'll be like, we will pay for you.
Wow.
And I'm really, really grateful for that church. Like, I'm really, really grateful because wherever I go, I would meet this person. They would be saying the same thing about my child.
So maybe that is also the reason why he felt connected to go to that church, because sometimes we have this thing that because of we are parents and I go to a certain church, that means my whole family should be comfortable in this environment.
Yeah.
So that is why I posed those two questions, that with the first church, with your church, how is the treatment? And then with the other church, what is the treatment?
Yeah.
So based on your two answers, maybe that is why he actually chose and was called to that other church.
It is.
Because it feels more like a calling than any other thing.
It's a home to him. He's even saying that he's an evangelist, he's a pastor in the church because he would attend meetings with the pastors and they understand him. They are not chasing him away. They accept him very well. Like, I'm really grateful for the church. Like, really, it's where my child get his comfort in most cases because they practice during the week and always at church. Sundays he would go to church, come back tired, calm himself down, and
So I also want to say big ups to you for not being a typical black mom. To only say because of I don't attend that church, there is no way you're not gonna go to that church, because if you are grounded, especially with his condition, so you could have been a very protective mom and be like, you are not going anywhere. You are staying here where I can be able to protect you, and because. So I'm saying, like, big up to you for not actually, forcing the child. Because I also believe that as much as our kids are autistic, but they are who they are. They are who they are. And we mustn't raise them as autistic kids. We just raise them as kids with autism. So the mere fact that you allowed your child to find his ground, to find his comfort, to find himself in society, like, that is amazing. And don't let other people from the outside judge you. Yes, judgment is there, but don't confirm their judgment. Being called a bad mom, a person who doesn't discipline their kids and all those kind of things, don't let that validate you. Don't let seeing your child grow and your child's character is what needs to validate us as parents. Never minding that is a child with disability or a neurotypical child, but for the mere fact that your kids sound amazing. They like church at their age. I mean, one is an evangelist, the other one is about to be a pastor.
Prophet. Praise for us.
You see? About that. So
non-verbal, but he'll be praying for you.
Exactly. As I say that, there's a quote that said, autism teaches you that you don't need words to express love. So that is what actually what he's doing. He's praying for you because prayer is internal, other than what you say. It starts within. So for the mere fact that he's actually able to actually even know how to pray. We have kids that don't know how to pray.
He's praying and believe in me.
So he is like, your kids are such amazing kids.
Yeah.
Like, we know that we have judgments up and down. We have to explain our kids' conditions every now and then, which sometimes it's exhausting, but it's necessary because also those people who are also asking, they're coming from a point of they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. So we cannot blame them because they actually don't know.
Yeah. I remember last week I took them out. Usually once a month I take them out to be at the mall, play games. My second bumped into an Indian girl. The father was so angry with my child. I begged, sorry, he's autistic. He didn't even understand that he hurt your child. I'm really, really sorry. And the older one, when we went back home, on our way back, I was crying. I like crying. He told me that, Mommy, we really love it when you take us out. We really enjoy being out.
Wow.
And believe in me, it hurted me so that some black ladies out there, they don't want their kids to be out in the society. They feel shy that my child is not normal. I'm not gonna go with him at the mall. How am I gonna control his behavior? And for him telling me that, it made my day so great. I was like, yo, Tando, you shouldn't have said this to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now since we're about to wrap it up, what advice would you give out, especially in our Black community? A parent, a new parent, first child, they see the symptoms or they are even diagnosed, but they still believe that somewhere, somehow, the child will outgrow it. So, as a mother of two, had walked this journey, has faced all these challenges that you're facing and you are still facing, what advice would you give?
Firstly, I would give them that first ask God to give you strength. It's not easy. Believe in me, it's not easy. Secondly, I would ask them to go for counseling first. Counseling helps to accept the situation. Get help from people that have experience. Example, with me, I always give out my numbers. So that if you feel that you are down and the situation is new to you, you don't understand anything, call me at any time. I would explain to you that it's normal. It's gonna go. It's gonna be easy some days very hard. Some days you'll be crying, some days you'll be happy. I remember one day I was in the taxi, there was this lady. I overheard that the school is diagnosing the child that is autistic. I teared out my ID just to give her my numbers, asked her, please call me. I saw her, I went to her place, she was crying, blaming herself that I was not there for my child. People, don't blame yourself. It's a gift from God. Accept the condition the way it is. The only thing that you need is only strength from God. Otherwise, everything would be smooth. If you just believe and accept the situation the way it is, you won't go wrong.
So would you mind giving out your numbers to maybe a viewer or so who's watching who would like to be in touch with you?
Yeah, I don't mind. My numbers is 07 39 84 6500. You'd get me in WhatsApp and even on call with that number.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for honoring the invite.
Yeah.
Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for being open, and thank you for sharing the awareness.
Oh, thanks
Thank
a
you
lot
so
for
much.
being here. I appreciate being here. I really, really appreciate you all effort that you did, the invite. I really, really appreciate. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. Okay, so mummies and daddies, that's it for tonight. So you heard her. Please, please, please don't be in denial. Acceptance is key. You being in denial, you're only actually affecting your child. Being in denial is actually a selfish move. So love your autistic child. Love your child with any disability. The disability is not who your child is. It's just part of who your child is. It doesn't make him the disability. So till next time, I'll see you guys later. Just bye.
Bye.